We're going to start working on inequalities. And by the way, an inequality just means we're using a sign like this or maybe like this rather than an equal sign. And we're going to break it into two chunks. One is graphing it, one is solving it. This video is going to be on graphing inequalities and what that actually means. So we're going to work on these two simple examples. It says graph x is greater than or equal to -2. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you put together a good number line. So if I put -2 right here, I have to think about how I order those numbers, because in the land of negatives, it's easy to make a mistake. So I'm going to order them like this. And remember, double check yourself. If -2 was the one I was working on, 0 is bigger than -2, so 0 should show up to the right. -4 is smaller than -2, so it should show up to its left. Bottom line is, don't underestimate your ability to screw up writing the numbers on a number line. It happens really easily. So this says x is greater than or equal to -2. So I'm going to put a dot on -2, and there's two ways you can do this. One way is to draw an arrow to all the values that are greater than or equal to -2, so the bigger numbers, or other people will do a squiggly down the line. Either way is fine. But what this is doing to you now, once you've figured out the graphing part, is any number you select from the shaded region should make this true. So pick any number. Let's pick the number 1. And I'm going to substitute 1 in for x. Is 1 greater than or equal to -2? Yes. And that's why 1 was found in the shaded region. Let's pick a number from outside the shaded region. In fact, here's -5. Let's go way out here. You can go way out to the left if you want. Let's select -8. -8, way over here, not even seen on the graph, definitely is not part of the shaded region. If I take -8 and put it in there, is -8 greater than or equal to -2? It's not, because it's to the left. So we say no. So the bottom line is, once you've done your shading, any number from the shaded region should make that inequality true. Any number outside the shaded region should make that inequality false. So here we go over here, graph x is less than 4. Now we're in the land of positives. That makes things a little easier to understand. I'll put 4 kind of right in the center. And then filling out the number line from there is usually not as difficult because you're in the land of positives. But notice I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to do an open circle around 4. And it says x is less than 4. Some people would shade like that, whereas other people would shade like that. I'm fine with either of those. And here's the deal. When it's a less than, but it doesn't have the equal sign underneath, then we go open circle. Anytime you don't have the equal sign underneath, it's an open circle. When the equal sign is underneath, it's a closed circle. So x is less than 4. If I pick anything from the shaded region, it should make that true. Is 1 really less than 4 because I selected 1 from the shaded region? Yes, it is. Selecting a value from the shaded region made that inequality true. Any value from outside the shaded region makes it false. The closed circle or open circle basically just says whether or not you're going to include the little border endpoint. This -2 is included in the shaded region. This 4 is not included in the shaded region. And one final thing, sometimes it drives people crazy when an inequality is written in a kind of a reverse fashion. So I'm going to redo that problem, but I'm going to say graph 4 greater than x. So notice my x is on the right-hand side. My advice to you is always read your inequality from the point of view of the variable. This says x is less than 4. X is greater than or equal to -2. So I would read this as x is less than 4. But in the end, I'm still going to end up graphing it the same way. Even though this was written in reverse order than that, they meant the same things. X is less than 4. I shade all the x values that are going to be less than 4. If you don't like it when your inequality variable is on the right, just rewrite it by flipping the sides and flipping the sign, and you'll be to the same place. All right, that's graphing the inequalities. Next, we'll work on solving, which is going to be good news because you're not learning much of anything new that you don't already know about solving equations.